Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm kind of leaving early to get something to eat and then head into work. But I also wanted to take this time to talk about something. You know, it's been 20 years this time, 20 years ago, that we got 2 new Disney afternoon shows. In fact, they would actually be the start of what was become the TDA era. Yeah, the TDA era of Disney Afternoon. Those shows were Aladdin, the series, which was based off the movie, and of course Gargoyles. And, not surprisingly, I want to talk about the Gargoyles first. And the fact that it's one of those Disney shows that even 20 years later, is still looked at as being a very good series. It's one of those series that holds up to the test of time. It really does. It really stands up to that test of time because no matter how you watch it, it's still very good. People are still going to get invested in it. They're still going to get interested in it. And I remember when the promotion was coming out for it. It was just crazy. It really was. I mean, in a sense, you think MLP FIM has a crazy fan base. And it does, at times. Gargoyles had it worse. They had a bigger fan base. The promos, the vignettes they aired for the show were unbelievable. And I don't think it was a surprise to anybody, that this show took off like it did. I mean, just like MLP FIM has done twice with their with the Equestria Girl movies, the Equestria Girl movies, just like they've done twice with that, Gargoyles did it back in '94. I remember watching the promos and the vignettes, and it was KSMO 62 that was talking about and promoting the Gargoyles Awakening miniseries in either complete unedited format or as what we got on VHS later that year, or later on, edited format or whatever you want to call it. Because they even showcased it later on syndication sometimes, in movie format. But Awakening, the Gargoyles movie pilot, if you will, which again, like I said, I can remember even when I lived on my own in Kansas, in Lawrence, KSMO 62 or another network, and I think even they did it once here in 2007 or a year or so after I came back. I remember a few times they aired it as a movie. A syndicated station would air it as a movie, and I think even Toon Disney's done that, and I think Disney Channel's even done that. And the point is, it was really it really shows you the impact that the show, these characters, this franchise had. And to see that it still has an impact, it still has an effect 20 years later, that's saying something. That really is. Yeah, sorry about that. If you heard anybody in the background, I'm sorry about that. Because, huh, even though I had 8 minutes left on this thing. But yeah, like I'm saying, the fact that, like I'm saying, the fact that it still has an impact even to this day is saying something, because, it's just truly amazing. It really is. And like I said, I can remember when I saw it for the first time, I had dedicated a whole tape. In fact, I dedicated every day to recording that show. Even if I was after school in detention or something, I dedicated a whole week to recording it. And even my dad got interested in it. He really did. Hold on. Alright, sorry about that. I was getting me some lunch. I mean, not lunch, well, brunch, dinner, whatever you want to call it. That takes off about 4 or something off my account, but it's okay. And looking at what, okay, 7:39. Let's put that. But like I said, it's kind of, it's really not that surprising of the impact it still has on everybody, on the fans, because the stories are still good. I mean, to even know the fact that Disney, even Disney of all people, is still airs it sometimes as part of Disney XD at night, and that it airs it in complete series format, both it and the Goliath Chronicle spinoff on its YouTube channel, that says a lot. Shows the impact. Like I was saying earlier, because the vignettes and the promos for it were so good, I remember the first week it came out, I dedicated a whole week on a tape to The Awakening. And I would watch it every episode. Either I was at home and recording it, or I was gone and recording it. I would come home, I would watch every episode. Every single one. Because it was that good. In fact, when Frank Hill sent me Volume 2, one of the first things I did on my HD television, and let me tell you something, it looks really good on those televisions. I watched Avalon, the 3-part miniseries. It's because I still like the show. Always have and always will. When I started playing my, SmackDown vs. Raw games, I would try to see if anybody made Goliath or any kind of gargoyle, or even Elisa, and I would play as them. And if they did, I would download and play as them. Heck, I even got the comic books, I think, by Boom Studios or somebody. That's how intriguing, that's how good the show is, and that's how much of a fan I am. Yeah, 20 years later, I'm still a fan. And honestly, if I think any show deserves at least a release on Blu-ray above any other show, even Rescue Rangers, and that's hard for me to say, but if there's any show, that deserves a possible Blu-ray release, it's this one. And that's a fact. And I really hope they do a Gargoyles live-action film, because I think that'll be a huge hit with a lot of longtime fans and even some new fans. And I think in reality, they need to broadcast Gargoyles during the day. They need to have it out right now because of the Halloween season. And I guarantee you it'll attract more new fans than you can imagine. So, but to me, it still feels fresh, inviting, and still good to watch. So, that's all I'm going to say on my retrospective Gargoyles 20 years later. Let me know what yours is, and I'll talk to y'all later.